I feel like I want to be like Jackie Ann, and you should be
Ooh.
Becky Lee.
Well, my middle name is Suzanne, so I'm Becca Sue.
Beck.
Thank you, Wales, in Welsh. And then I remembered I don't know Welsh, so.
I'm glad that you remembered before you. Okay, give it a shot. Give it a shot.
I was just going to be like a dinkum far Wales.
Dude, they have a baby octopus specimen and Palo Santos. I'm like, you're like asking for like, I don't know, whatever Beck said in Welsh earlier, that demon is coming to fucking haunt you. Like, I know you've mentioned being a sweaty Betty. I don't know how to rhyme this, but like, I have hot feet. And like, I
mean, hot feet. That's cute.
like physically hot. Like, they are very warm to the touch. Like, I hate
hot
having
to try.
Hot. You will be proud of me. I did watch Matt Rife's comedy special last night.
Jackie, he's canceled. Why do you always whatnot's hanging? But now we'll get to see the weird oddity ones.
I have a question. Where the fuck did they get an octopus in Tennessee?
Full respect for a craft. Certainly, they're well done. There were no like wonky looking ones with crazy wandering eyes or anything. Like really good, like high level taxidermy. But
soft foam arrows and javelins can hit the head. Oh, foam rocks only cause damage if they hit the head. A foam rock. I am fascinated. Okay, do you have to bring your own foam rock, or do you think that
I bet
like
they provide all the weapons so that you can't doctor them up or something?
Force there, the Predator. Go Predators.
Oh, no. Oh, because what did they call it?
Home of the Predators. Smashville. Home of the Predators. Okay, can you have a better date rape name?
Right here.
Recording here.
You have this for you. I'm not gonna restart. My gift to you, Bacondra. Okay.
Whoa. All right, you ready for this?
I'm actually really glad I got that on here too. Okay, I'm ready for it.
Are you ready to rumble? We can't start with someone else's slogan.
Howdy, folks.
It's the WWE. Are you ready to rumble?
Okay. Yeah, I did know that. Okay, I did know that.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the podcast. We're experts now. We have another down south barbecue deep fried episode for you, but more on that later. First, I'm your host, co-host, Rebecca.
I'm your other host, Jackie. And yeah, we are heading down south, Bacondra. We are, okay, like, I feel like I want to be like Jackie Ann, and you should be
Ooh.
Becky Lee,
Well, my middle name is Suzanne, so I'm Becca Sue.
Becca. I cannot. Becky Sue, you come back here now. Y'all come back now here, okay? I lived in the South at one point, so I would just like to be very clear. Wait, Texas is not really the South, but is also the South.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on the South because when I lived on a farm, and I always had this like idea in my head that we had chickens, and it was like they were saying my name. They're like, "Baka, baka," and I was like, they know my name. They love me. It's great. But that was in the desert of California. And then when I moved to Texas, it was a bit less like a southern state, like where we're going is maybe more closer to the Mason-Dixon line, farther north. But Texas can sometimes be like, a lot of Mexican culture, Hispanic culture, and then just a horde of other kind of immigrant populations. And it's a big melting pot in San Antonio specifically.
Absolutely. I mean, most of the country is. We are going to a place that is a little bit less of a melting pot, though. we are headed to, I feel like, just like quintessential South here. We're going to Nashville. We're gonna get some. Well, I love how I've had a rough week, listeners. This rough week. There was some family stuff going on, and it was unknown if I was going to make this trip or not. And the second that I said I'm going to make the trip, Bex goes, "Oh, yeah, okay, we can buy cowboy boots." And I'm like, I love that you know that what I need is retail therapy
Yes.
and what my
Yes.
priorities are of going to Nashville. I think a lot of this is the bachelorette capital of, I'm going to say, the world. Definitely
It's
the
one of
country.
them. I think it's one of them. Like it's
Of the
definitely on a
country.
top 10 list. I mean, yeah, of the
It-
country for sure, but I feel like yeah, it's like a iconic hen, what do they call them? Hen potty. If you're British. A
oh, I
hen
have no
party.
idea. Okay, I love
Or a
that. No.
stag party if it's a bachelor party.
Mhm. No, so it's everyone I know who's been to a fucking bachelorette party there. I have not actually. I have been to Nashville. This is where I had my complete mentee bee, as the young people say. Please be proud of
Mhm.
me. Thank you, no cap.
Great job.
Um,
Oh God. Almost had it.
okay, this is my three to in 2021. Bex knows this. I went on like a 4-month road trip to like find myself. We call it like my eat, pray, love journey, or like
Mhm.
my eat, pray, cry journey. There wasn't any love. I did think I was in love and almost moved to Texas, actually, full circle
Yeah,
here.
I know.
But I broke down in Texas, like not my car, me emotionally, um, an Airbnb, and then literally took 4 months to get to Nashville. I got back to Nashville in 3 days of driving. I did do a little layover in Colorado, but yeah, I was done with the trip. Have you had any experiences in Nashville?
No, this is my first time going to Nashville, but I'll let the listener know I did go to I'm guessing it was 2009 um, National Classics Association conference. I think that's what it's called. I took Latin in high school, and we had our convention in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we took a
Okay.
charter bus there. And my whole class loaded up from Texas, and we got on our little charter bus, and they had a little flip down TV screens. And the bus driver put on the latest Harry Potter film. And as if on cue, everyone reached in their backpack, pulled out their Harry Potter book, and was like, we're following along to see how closely the movie stuck to the book. And it was ironic to feel like a nerd on a bus full of nerds because I was the only one who didn't have the new HP book.
Oh, wow.
But it was a
Is it
beautiful
because
way
it
to
was
see.
satanic?
Yes.
Was
But
it satanic?
it was demonic, but it was a
Okay.
beautiful way to see Tennessee. There's a lot of like lush green countryside that's like
Gorge.
unexpected to me. I didn't realize. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's right up there by Appalachia.
And like dense. Like I remember like I got stuck. There was like a massive crash when I was leaving Tennessee. And I am like stuck on the side of the road for like 4 hours. Like everyone's out of their cars. And at a certain point, like I just looked around and I was like, those woods are so thick. Like I always remember used to being like, yeah, and they didn't find the body in the woods for like
Oh God.
12 years, right? And they're always talking about somewhere in the South. And I was
Mhm.
always like, how do you not find the person, right? Being from California, like we have like a much more arid climate. There's a lot of room between our trees, especially redwoods. Like they're not dense. They take up a lot of space. One tree takes up a lot of space.
No, in
And I
California,
was
the
like,
people are dense. Oh.
okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. We just lost. Actually, I was going to say all of our listeners, and I was like, nope. I looked last night, 75% UK.
Okay,
Yes,
yes. So this
go
is just more
England
Civil War stuff.
and Ireland and everybody else in the area. We love you, Wales. We
Oh
love
yeah, I
Wales.
wish I was about to say like thank you Wales in Welsh, and then I remembered I don't know Welsh, so.
I'm glad that you remembered before you. Okay, give it a shot. Give it a shot.
I was just gonna be like a dinkum far Wales, and I'm like I don't know where that came from or what that means, but could be something. Let
I
us
bet you
know.
just told them to fuck off and they all hate us now. Now we've lost all of our listeners. We're left with 6 American dudes now. And we love every 6 of you.
And
You
to
guys are
them I
great.
say saw, dude.
Saw?
It's like what's up, dude? Saw, dude.
Is that what the young people are saying now too? Should I
It's
add it
kind
to
of
my
what the
repertoire?
old young people are saying.
I can't even follow that. Is that like 26?
I mean, maybe 28 to 30s.
Okay. You will be proud of me. I did watch Matt Rife's comedy special last night.
Jackie, he's canceled. Why do you always? Well, breaking news for Jackie, Matt Rife. I mean,
What
canceled
did
is
he
really,
do?
at this point, a sarcastic term because no one is really canceled and there's no one trying to cancel anyone for real. It's just, what people
What
say
did
when
he
they
do though?
are too, I don't know, edgy. He said, okay, so it kind of is the context of his rise to fame coming through a lot of his audience is young women,
Mhm.
especially. And especially as he's gotten more attractive, he's like definitely appealed to a female crowd and they've always come out and supported him. And then his special that he just released on I don't know what platform actually.
It's
I think it was
Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah, it was Netflix. It was his like finally his big Netflix one. His like opener is a domestic violence punchline.
I
And
will say I did turn it off. I was like, okay, this was funny for a minute, and then like, what did he start? He started talking about something with like a bag, and then him going off on people on Twitter, like on the trolls on Twitter, and he was just sounded so like defensive and narcissistic. I was like, you don't like you're making a joke because you're obviously offended and you're trying to like now get other people to make fun of that person, not because trolls are
yeah.
ridiculous and like you can
And
make fun of them in that way. Yeah.
that's a good defensive and narcissistic is what makes certain comedy unsavory. Where you're like, you're not being edgy. You're just, it's not. There's no comedy you're not letting people into the comedy. But whatever that aside, then he like doubled down and was responding to people on Twitter, and he posted like what appeared to be a sincere apology with a link to donate to something. I forget what the link was supposed allegedly for, but then when you click on the link, it's essentially a rickroll that takes you to a website for helmets for like mentally disabled people, and people were like, nah dude, we don't, that's not the
Yeah, if you're gonna make an
response.
apology, yeah, like wow, okay. Well, as
But
usual, late to the party. So
in the temperature of all things canceled, I guess it's not the worst, and he'll probably
I
be
mean,
back stronger than ever.
it's not the last time I'm gonna not know someone's canceled and support them.
I mean, I do like to watch the thing that's in question, and I haven't seen the special yet, so I did that
This
with
is
the
why I
Chappelle
with you
special.
usually. Yeah, I check with you. See, if I had known, I probably wouldn't have watched it. But I was like, "Oh, I've seen some of his stuff and I thought it was kind of funny." Like he tends to engage with the audience pretty
Yeah.
well, which I think is interesting. Um, yeah, okay.
That
No.
was a fun sidebar. Back to Nashville.
We're going to Nashville. And you know who's not in Nashville? Matt Rife. Is that how I say his name?
Yeah, he could be there though. You never know. Yeah.
No.
So what's on our itinerary for
Don't you
Scootin'
want to
Boogieing?
know?
Okay. Okay.
First off, I'm like, what do I start with? Okay,
Hmm.
let's start with Hail Dark Aesthetics. Don't know a whole lot about this, but if you go to their website, there's quite a bit of taxidermy, and this freaks me out like a
Mm.
lot.
Looks
You're
very
not.
cool. Looks like, there I feel like there's a certain aesthetic of the like, ooh, the macabre, the like dark toned photos, like cool temperature, high contrast. You see the like two-headed cow and the, sort of almost like witchiness.
And there's a lot of they got some sage, which I'm kind and some Palo Santo.
And
Bro,
you call those
what are
portal
you
openers.
doing?
It's haunted by little animals.
Dude, they have a baby octopus specimen and Palo Santos. I'm like, you're like asking for like, I don't know, whatever Beck said in Welsh earlier, that demon is coming to fucking haunt you. Well,
Wait, why is a baby octopus bad? Just because it's a baby?
you got its dead corpse on to fucking display. Like, and yes, that it's a baby. Like,
I
and
know
it like
someone who ate a whole full baby octopus, and it is one of our previous guests.
I don't need to. Bex, why did you know? Like, I'm going to spend Christmas with Mel.
Yeah,
Okay, remember last night when I said I thought Mel and I were going to be best friends? I take it back.
They'll eat all the baby octopodes, so you don't have to.
When we were in Fiji, Rowan, we had been finding lots of clams in the sand, and Rowan threw a clam, and I got upset with her because she was going to hurt the clam.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. I mean, anyway, mollusks. I probably won't be having seafood in Tennessee, so that's good.
I doubt it. You are going to find a way. You're going to be like, oh, do you have oysters? And
I did have oysters in Texas, and I was like, this is, I've gone too far. But at least there's a coast on Texas. There's no water on Tennessee, right? Is there good? There's probably a good river.
I'm coming to a realization that I had wanted to go somewhere else, and I sent the wrong link. But this is where we're going now.
What?
Because when I was going to take us to, it was called like Dead People's Things. And it was just like an estate sale.
Oh.
But somehow I found the link for a taxidermy place. And now we have to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the spirits calling us there. We got to see these, we got to hail the dark aesthetics.
I'm going to vomit and cry at the same time.
I mean, may as well do some ayahuasca then.
This reminded me of something. I need to follow up with somebody. Oh, okay, never mind. We're not going there. Okay, we'll save that for later.
Well, I think we'll get, I don't know, it'll be quirky, interesting, weird, and we'll get a flavor for the sort of oddball aesthetic underbelly of Nashville and what they could do with taxidermy, because I'm sure there's like normal taxidermy all around. Everyone probably got a bunch of bucks and whatnots hanging, but now we'll get to see the weird oddity ones.
I have a question. Where the fuck did they get an octopus in Tennessee? This place is gonna fuck my world up. There's just so many skulls.
Sure, they just bought it, shipped it on dry ice. It's just one of those places where people are like, well, what are we gonna do with this? Or they seek it out or something. Maybe they have a headhunter who's like, gotta find them.
Dude, that's an awful joke.
Because I know this was an issue with the cocaine bear, if we remember that from pop culture a few cycles ago. The cocaine bear was that story about the bear who accidentally ate all that cocaine that was
I tried to watch that documentary. Mm-hmm.
But then it was like, what do we do with the like taxidermied body of the cocaine bear? And yeah, it was like bought by a private dealer, and then it was sold, and then it ended up in some sort of museum thing.
Who buys this shit? Like who is sitting there and is like, you know what? I want the corpse of a bear who did too much cocaine. Like, what happened to you when you were a child? Who didn't hug you? And you know what? You should get a hug, but it's not coming from me. You know who might
the cocaine
be willing to hug you? Well, no, Trench.
Oh. Trench. Yeah, see, that's what I think what they think is they're like, this is a flex to, like, this is the mating call to the right mate,
So are you saying like what? Like a dude buys the beaver skull in the hopes that a chick comes to his house and is like, man, those beaver teeth be fierce. I'm feeling a little frisky now myself. Let's do it. Is that
yeah,
what we think?
You're like my man is a, sort of lumberjack, jack of all trades slayer. He's a alpha. These are the dudes predator, have fish. Apex predator.
Yeah, these are the dudes with the fish on their fucking dating profiles.
I don't know. They're catch and release. These taxidermy people, they're, I think, a different breed. Although I don't think most
of them are catch and release. They're catch and eat. Let's be real. That's what the fish guys are doing. But I think you're onto something, right? There is a difference between the like hunting an animal, shooting it, skinning its flesh, boiling everything off, and then like hoisting its skull or, skin onto a wall. I do think there is a difference in that and
That's the
just fishing.
it's the Dracula method though, right? You're like, I have the skulls of my enemies on pikes in the yard. But
Dude,
there
this
is
episode's gonna get like remember the morgue episode and we got like it wouldn't let us advertise it because it was too dark. So we're gonna get this again.
but there is some overlap of the trophy keeping, right? It's like
Mhm.
trophy, here's my fish, trophy, here's my skinned animal skull or not skinned, preserved intact, taxidermied, lifelike.
I don't know the difference. I'm gonna be real. I don't want to know the difference. I know that and I again no. Mm, I don't have a lot of judgment in a lot of things, right? Like if you are killing the animal and you are like eating it or you are like using it for like something useful, not like jewelry or something, I don't really have a moral like against that. Like right? Like I don't if you are killing the animal to mount it on your wall, I'm not a big fan of that. Like I think my point is that I'm getting at is that like I don't judge it, it just disgusts me. Like I just don't want anything dead in my house. Like me is enough. Like I'm dead aside. That's enough deadness in the house. And I will accept a Christmas tree and cut flowers. But
Yeah, that's
the
speciest.
whole I've chosen a species that I'll have dead in my house, okay?
All right, well, it sounds
Yeah.
like we're going to get into a whole bucket of worms with that. Now, are we going any other destinations on our
Now we're
journey?
going somewhere else that makes my heart happy after. I feel like we're gonna have to do one after the other because the dark aesthetics is gonna whew. So after that, we're gonna go to the National Foam Fighting Day. Demarion.
And a reminder, folks, this foam fighting is not LARPing. The abilities you have are the ones you come with. That's the official slogan of foam fighting.
Yeah, so I guess this is something they do every week in Nashville on Sundays, which just like tickled my fancy. Because listeners, like most podcasts, they're going to take you to like the normal spot, right? Like they're going to take you to the Grand Ole Opry, right? They're going to take you to the Ryman Auditorium. They're going to take you somewhere Johnny Cash sing. Where do we take you? We take you to the Nashville Foam Fighting Tournament, right? And this happens every week, just in case you are in Nashville and want to go, in Elmington Park from 12 to 6. So you got a whole day's worth of foam fighting. I don't know if you have to bring your own. Okay, there's basic rules.
Now, you
Safe.
may want to go and see the sights and history of Nashville, but we're not going to show you that. We're going to show you the weird foam fighting and oddity museums.
Their rules are very simple, Bex. Let's be safe. No headshots with melee. Is it
Melee?
melee? Thank you.
Melee.
Only hits to torso, arms, and legs count. So I guess there's some sort of point system. Okay.
Okay.
Soft foam arrows and javelins can hit the head.
Oh,
Foam rocks only cause damage if they hit the head. A foam rock. I am fascinated. Okay. Do you have to bring your own foam rock, or do you think that
I bet
like
they provide all the weapons so that you can't doctor them up or something.
that's fair. I also wonder like is the field like have foam rocks around, or do you have to like
Mm.
BYOFR?
It's not there in the rules?
Not in these ones. Okay. Oh wait, there's a complete rules. Okay. So you can take a hit. If your arm is hit, you put that arm behind your back. What? You get to keep it? That's fucked up. I think you should cut it off. If your leg is hit, you go down to one knee. If your torso is hit, you're out. Armor can cover parts of your body and give one extra hit of protection. That's not the ability that you came with. I'm just saying.
Well, if you bring armor, I guess.
Okay, fine. Okay. Have fun. Create a persona character for yourself. Pick a name and add a backstory. Start dressing like your character. So it is
Okay.
encouraged. Are you going to dress? Oh my God, Bex, their rules have an appendix.
So, I
It's
mean,
hot.
I don't know if you could throw a rock at it and take it out.
It's honestly, it's intense. Wow. Okay, I gotta send you this. This is insane. Whoever made these rules is literally me.
I mean, you got to account for anything. All
Dude,
right,
they
let's
really
see.
do. There's a crossbow quick
Oh my
reference
God.
chart. See what I'm saying?
Oh, you have to call hold if you're feeling unsafe. And you should avoid using phrases such as hold the line or any words that could be misinterpreted as hold, because that's a safe word here at Foam Fighting.
So don't say home.
Don't even say
Holden.
home. Don't say
Holder.
Holden Caulfield.
Fold. Don't say fold. Don't say cold. There's subpoints to
gosh.
subpoints to subpoints. Like you get down to 3.5.6.1, which obviously whoever came up with this code is someone who has read a code but has never created one before.
I also like that they say that you cannot even pretend to make a hit towards the head. You can't fake someone out. Because I bet you someone did. I bet you someone did.
But grappling is allowed. So shield kicking is okay.
Bullets do we got? Oh, I see the crossbow. Okay. Bolts, arrows, bows, rocks, shields, armor, flails, class, javelins.
What is a flail? I feel like that's just what I do.
The head of the flail must measure 15 inches along two narrowest different axes, or okay, one hinge per flail. Okay, so don't get hinge crazy.
A flail is like a mace kind of thing, kind of vibe.
Okay.
And so that would explain it. You can only go like one, not like. And you're welcome for the sound effects as usual.
Okay. I'm gonna bring my javelin.
I like that you're saying it like you're British. Javelin.
Javelin. How would you say it?
I feel like it's javelin.
Okay, here's the prohibited weapons. Here's what you leave at home.
Okay.
Nets, lassos. No Ted Lassos either.
Okay.
Those are entangling weapons. Can't bring those. Can't bring unmanned weapons, traps. Can't bring non-compliant double-ended weapons, e.g. nunchaku, double-ended daggers, pommel spikes.
Pommel spike.
Can't bring punching weapons, daggers, and tonfas.
Oh, well, duh.
Great.
Pommel.
Well, we're going as spectators. Tonfa?
Yeah, we are certainly not participating in this, but as we were saying earlier, I have referenced LARPing so many times in this show that we have to go do the thing that is the most LARPing-like that we can find. It's not LARPing, LARPing-like, LARPing adjacent, not LARPing. And I need them to know that I am bringing abilities that are outside of the norm. It's going to be a surprise to me and to them. And
that'd be cool if you found out you were a superhero during the LARP.
I mean, holy fuck. We know I'm a superhero. We figured this out a long time ago. My superhero trait is that I'm allergic to gluten.
Wow. Power of life and death in your hands.
It really is. We can give an honorable mention to this place called the Caverns, which is like an hour and a half away from Nashville. That looks like really cool, where you can like cave walk around. And Bex and I thought that would be really down south vibey. And then if we have time, we always try to throw in that third spot, but we pretty much never make it. But we're mentioning it in case we do. The Hermitage Hotel men's bathroom. Apparently this bathroom is so dope that they had to let the ladies in. And as two empowered ladies, we would like to see it, possibly. And it's green.
I'm gonna compare it to the other men's restrooms I've been in. We'll see how it fares. I was given detention once in high school for being caught in the boys' bathroom. So,
what were you doing in the boys' bathroom?
It's nothing worth getting detention for, but it was a cool story. It was actually, now that I'm piecing it back together, recovered memory style, I remember this sort of metrosexual hot little number had it invited. He was like, oh, I just came from the barns. My school was an ag magnet. We had barns. He was like, I got some manure on my backpack. And the boys' bathroom had showers in it. He was like, you want to go and hang out with me while I clean off my backpack? Is that the Netflix and chill of Barnes High School?
Okay. On the other hand, I got suspended, and I'm not going to say his name, but I wrote in the boys' bathroom, blank, blank, used his last name, that's for sure, as a one.
That is body shaming, Jackie.
It also wasn't true. This was middle school, and I had never seen a penis before.
You're like, it's huge, 1 inch.
But I sure showed him for whatever he did to me that I found so offensive that I needed to do that. I sure showed him when I got suspended. So,
well, we're in suspense about our trip to Nashville. I hope we get to see some country music, eat some barbecue, have some hot chicken.
I think you're going to say have some hot chicks.
Have some hot chicks. I'm sure they'll be there. There's probably it's a hot city. I think it's probably a hot city. That's my guess.
Let's go be hot then. Welcome back, folks, to another episode. Oh, wait, we're halfway through the episode. Welcome back from the break. This is Jupiter. I'm Jackie. This is my girl, Rebecca. And where did we
go? Got a little Lydia. We got a little Lydia there for the viewers as well.
Love her. Odin has disappeared and is no longer part of the pod family. That's okay because he's a dick.
He's going he's going rogue.
He's been going rogue a lot lately. He's been the older Jupiter gets, because Jupiter's on like 15 years now, the older Jupiter gets, the more evil Odin gets. And I really feel bad for my old man cat. So
he needs a retirement.
I think he is. I think I'm gonna make him a retirement in like the spare bedroom, right? Like, because it's just I'm like, you need a break sometimes. Like, you need like not like a full-time retirement, but just like his vacation home. Like, he's like a snowbird. He's like going to the spare bedroom for his like break from like the winter that we call Odin. And then once he's had like a little refresh, he comes back. So, okay. All right. And where did we go this week, Rebecca?
Yeah, for our little snowbird adventure. Did it snow? It rained. It had like a sleet vibe when we were in Tennessee, y'all. Okay. Y'all,
it was definitely
we Tennessee, we Tennessaw, we Tennesselfied. Okay.
We did. You got boots. I got a hat.
Yes.
I mean, like
boots and hats.
The problem, I would have gotten boots, but the only pair of boots I liked were like $400, and I had just gotten back from Fiji.
They were so good. It was one of those things where like nothing compares to seeing them on, and you're like, they're different. They look so good. Like you just you see it, and you're like, yes, the pattern, the craftsmanship. But you'd just gotten back from an island vacation, so.
But I took pictures so I can always find them later, right? Like I can still purchase them one day. I just need wait a minute.
You even Google alerted it, I believe, which is a thing that I need to get better at because I know it exists as a concept and I'm sure I could figure out how to do it, but I've never done it. And Jupiter cleaning his beehole in the background.
Yeah, it's inappropriate, Jupiter.
Is perfect for the Tennessee episode. We got into hijinks.
Wait, what were we just talking about? I was going to tell you something. Oh, Google Alerts. Here's the thing. The great part about Google Alerts is that it makes you seem more on top of things than you are, right? Like, because like you can
Yeah.
Google alert your company name, for example, right? So anytime your
Oh,
company name comes up in the news, you get
that's
a little ping, right? Like you can do this with your name, which if you're paranoid like me, and I would want to know if anything ever came out about me, I would get a
never
Google
thought
alert.
of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like Google alerts are not just about like Google alerts are how to be lazy. Like sometimes
Hmm.
people think I'm really organized and I'm like, no, I'm not very organized. I'm incredibly lazy and I have learned how to hack my laziness or
Yes.
like hack the things that like make me seem organized,
You're
right? Like
biohacking. You are 2025. Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Well,
Anyways,
yeah, I did get boots and they were the word. And the word
yeah.
is good because I've worn them
I don't
out.
remember which boots you got. Were they the red
So
ones?
here was my boot philosophy, and there is a boot philosophy, ladies. We know it. I'm from Texas, and I once had two pairs of boots, black and brown, and through the years lost them both. And I was like, I'm bootless. I'm not a Southerner. I don't have a pair of boots to my name. And so when I was at Boot Barn, and yes, I will plug
Yeah,
them, and they're going to give me a brand deal, and that's just what's going to happen.
absolutely.
I tried on
Absolutely.
a pair of black boots. I tried on a pair of red boots. I tried on a pair of white boots. And I'm going for like at least calf level. One of them was getting towards the knee length. And I said, these red boots, they're fabulous. I feel like childlike wonder in these red boots. These white boots, sexy. I feel like she's getting a cover shoot deal with a photographer. Black boots, I feel like I am Johnny Cash. Like, great. And my boot philosophy was you have to have black boots. Like, if you have zero boots, you can't go straight to white,
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't go straight to crazy. So I
Yeah.
was like, I've got to have my bases covered. And then I'll probably do red because that's when you get to be a little wild. And then I'll do white where now I'm like, okay, if I get the white ones dirty or if they have the smallest shelf life, I feel like. So it's like, you've got to
Yeah.
go in that order.
I mean, leather boots are better, but yeah, I think I felt the same way because like there was like some suede boots that I really liked, but I was like, they're light blue suede. I was like, these are gonna get destroyed. I also like, I know you've mentioned being a sweaty Betty. I don't
Mhm.
know how to rhyme this, but like I have hot feet. And like
I mean, hot feet, that's
like
cute.
physically hot. Like they are very warm to the touch. Like I hate
Hot to
having
try.
my hot no.
You are hot to
But
trot,
yes, I
okay?
am absolutely hot to trot. Like my trot is so fucking hot. Like, and I hate take me seriously. I hate when I like have that hot foot feeling, like, right? Like I
Mm.
then get like, cause I have an illness that like when I'm overheated, like it really affects my heart rate. I really don't enjoy that. So my feet getting hot is really a big trigger of
It's
that.
triggering, it's
And
triggering.
it is. So
Leather
boots are
shoes,
scary.
yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
scary. They're scary because I'm like, I live in San Francisco. Like, I was like, when I was in Sacramento, it got colder. I probably would have worn boots more. But I'm now like just south of San Francisco. It doesn't get that cold here. Like, I'm not going to need boots more than like 10 minutes. That's all I'm going to need them for. So,
Yeah, because the weather's going to be spit and you're not going to be outside that long anyway. You're going to be point A to point B. Well, so besides we did our shopping, because that's kind of what Nashville, where we stayed, the experience we were kind of getting a front row seat of was Music Row, Broadway, which everyone knows it as Broadway. I guess you had kind of planted the seed of Music Row in my mind, and I think that's what the historical district is certainly known as. But like everyone's like, oh, is that Broadway? And it's like, yeah, like don't
I
you
didn't call it anything, to be very clear. I had no idea what anything was called. I just knew we were off 6th Street is what
Mm,
I
mhm.
knew. And I knew we were by the main place cuz that's where the people that we were staying with wanted to stay, but like this was not my decision, and if I said anything wasn't intentional. I hated it. Uh
I knew as soon as we got to our hotel and I saw like spaghetti strap silk tops and black pleather pants and sequin everything, I was like, oh, okay, bachelorette capital. And then like, and I was like, I'm underdressed for this hotel check-in. And then immediately, you know, a matching Bucky's sweatsuit walked by and I was like, okay, I'm overdressed.
It's very confusing, and that's not what I had the problem with. It's you and I, we got there on a Saturday night. And so it is overwhelming. And we know that I hate overwhelming places. And we even tried a couple days later and I was like, it's Monday afternoon. It's going to be way more chill. It was not way more chill. It was slightly more chill, but like not way more chill. And it's just like, I just felt like I was just in the middle of Battle of the Bands constantly. And like if Battle of the Bands instead of like was one band getting up after each other, like if they just all played out at the same time and whoever was the loudest won that Battle of the Bands, I feel like that's what I was in the middle of, just walking down that street. And I did not love it. There's so much else I loved about Nashville. Like I loved a lot of the food we had. A lot of people were very nice. Like I experienced a lot of things else that I loved, but I think the thing that people go to Nashville for, as usual, was my least favorite thing. Yeah. Like Creed. Yeah. No. To draw them in. Yeah. To get them away from the other. And then my favorite part was that like we walked by that one bar multiple times and it was always that same drummer and he always just looked like he was like trapped and like stuck. We walked by and I made eye contact with him and it was just like looking into a dead soul. He was like, this is purgatory. Like this is between hell and heaven, right? Like it's like I haven't made it as a rock star, but I have a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week gig at this bar in Nashville. So maybe I'll get, found. I don't know. Maybe he did get breaks, but like we certainly did not
I mean,
see
he
them.
could be a session drummer. You never know. He could be making a good solid wage. But the thing is, you'd have to live in Nashville because that's what I was so shocked by was it was LA drink prices and it was not LA service and it was not LA drinks.
We went to like the nicest places in the town. Okay, wait. Okay, wait.
That's true. That's true.
Do you remember the dinner that we went to where they refused to serve us? Remember with the guy behind us? We went to that restaurant. It was like at the other hotel. It was a nice hotel.
Oh, the guy that just didn't show up?
Yeah, the waiter. And then he was like, someone asked like how he was. And he was like, oh, I've had a rough day.
And this has never happened to me before. I ordered a drink, a dirty martini, which is really simple. It's 2 ingredients and 3 at the most. And the guy asked how dirty I wanted it. And he was so like, his pants were low and his hair was messy. And it had taken us 30 minutes for anyone to talk to us. And I was like, I'm scared by his question because I like a dirty martini, really dirty. But then I just felt like this is a teenage boy and I have to maybe scale back a little. And I was like, I don't know, like a little, and with vermouth, I guess I want like a splash, a rinse maybe. It came back like so sweet, like a licorice candy. And I was like, I don't know what you put in this, but this is undrinkable. It's like swill. And he was, and it's like, he was like, oh, I made that one. Let me ask the bartender to remake it. I'm like, yeah, ask the bartender to make the drinks. And this is the thing that has never happened to me before. He tasted my drink.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I'm like, sir, that's not necessary. Like, and he was like, no, yeah, I see what you mean. I'm like, yeah, but don't just drink strangers' drinks. Like, this is unhinged.
I've seen it a million times before the pandemic, to be very clear. Not once since pandemic. Like, I was in food service for years. I saw some horrible things. But post-pandemic,
it's just boy logic. It's like, is there a manager here? Is there anyone that like has an IQ above 30 years old? Like,
We were literally Googling other places to eat by the time he walked over. And like, we were just like, we know everything that we want to eat. They were out of half the things. Like, it was ridiculous. We won't say the name of that restaurant because I don't.
No.
It was
It's fine.
Bobby. I was not going to
No.
say the name because I couldn't remember it, but I just remember because you kept saying, "Is that Bobby Flay's?" And I was like,
Yes,
I don't think so. And it was not, and it was not great.
It's fine. You know, they got us food and drink eventually, and they remade our drinks, and it just was like, and here's where it all fully clicked together. We went to a different restaurant the next day. I think it was the day we were leaving, and we got some like, actually that was the best drink I had the whole time we were there, was that whiskey drink. But I ordered some like elotes corn dish, and it came with like so much mayonnaise, and then the next course had mayonnaise in it, and the next course had mayonnaise in it. And I was like, oh, this isn't just the South, it's also the Midwest. And that's the whole, like, that made everything about Tennessee click and Nashville click together for me. I was like, that's why it's like boring and like soulless. Is like Nashville has long ago lost its identity.
My whole family's from the Midwest. Watch yourself.
It has no rhythm. How is it the rhythm capital? It whatever novelty it once had is just long ago lost in a swirl of commercialized commodification and materialism, hyper central localized in downtown Nashville. And I wished I could have downloaded Tinder to like see what like regular people were doing in the suburbs and that kind of thing.
I've been on Tinder there. It's not great. It's not great. The options were not great. Let's remember that Nashville is the town where I had a total and complete mental breakdown on my road trip. Like, okay, and I had not been in like the highlight of the US. I had been Sedona good. Albuquerque was like, okay, right? But we're getting worse here. Then I went into Texas for a while. New Orleans was good, but it was a very dark time. It was very New Orleans-like, right? Like it was very haunted. And then I go to Nashville. Everything just falls apart in Nashville, and I tried to give it another shot. And what happened at the end of the trip, Rebecca?
Mentee B.
No, I meant on our trip this time.
What happened at the end of our trip this time? Your flight was delayed?
No.
I don't remember what happened.
Yes. My flight was delayed like by 4 hours. I forgot that. Thank you for reminding me. But a bird pooped on me.
Oh,
we were walking around, and it was like in my hair.
Yeah, it was I saw it fly by, and something happened, and you were like, did it poop in my hair? And I was like, I think it missed you. Let me look. It missed you. And you're like, I think it got me. And I peeled back layers of hair, and I was like, oh, it got you in the hair, like into the follicles, into the roots.
It was really bad. And I was like, you were like, we could just wipe it off. I was like, there's no way I'm getting on a flight with shit in my hair.
Oh, so
I made
much.
us go back, and I made us go back to the hotel so I could wash my hair after I had literally just washed my hair. So Nashville, we haven't even gotten to the places that we went, but like so far you could tell how the trip went. It went really well. But so where did we go? What should we talk about first? Let's talk about Hail Dark Aesthetics.
Sure. We took an Uber there, and we were like, is this right? But they just had a lot of like, you can't look in.
Yes, and they had a whole taxidermy room, which Rebecca certainly went in. I could not. I absolutely was not able to do that.
Yeah, there was some kind of like mental thing that happened with me where once you said you couldn't handle it, I was like, it's kind of intense. Like, I was like, it's fine. And then once you were like, I literally can't, I was like, oh, it is crazy. Like, these are like the carcasses of dead things, the vessels of life.
Dude, I don't get how people like that. Like, no judgment. Like, but like, fuck, man. Like, I don't want to like dead. No.
Well, it was like, I mean, I've seen a lot of taxidermied things before, but it was sort of overwhelming. There's one room that's sort of the concentration of all of the taxidermied predator animals, and as well as some prey like bucks and deers and stuff. But when I was in there, I was just like, yeah, like this is just, part of the cycle of life. Like these are just animals, and like they're preserved with sort of like respectful respectful respect for a craft. Certainly, they're well done. There were no like wonky looking ones with crazy wandering eyes or anything. Like really good, like high level taxidermy. But I was standing in the middle of the room, and I did feel something dark. I did feel like,
Yeah.
and like my mind was like, is this a nightmare and they're about to like all come back to life and pounce on me? And even just like a little cat-sized wild cat is like
You could
just
feel it
instant
in the
death.
whole shop. Like you could like it was the same way that it felt like on Alcatraz, where it was like this like bone chilling feeling of like, and that's why like I don't know if I believe in ghosts, I don't know if I believe in afterlives, but what I do believe is that like fucking energy sticks, right? And like whether it be like death or like where the death was or like where you're keeping the carcass, right? Like I think energy does stick around, and like I don't know, I just felt like sick in there as like, and I think that there's a lot of good stuff in there too, but all right, I'm going to say some shit. I'm going to say it, and I'm just going to say it. I think that there are a lot of places that thrive off the occultness and the taboo of like witchcraft and like death and all of these things that like are part of kind of paganism in a lot of ways. And I think that they use it as like shock factor. And I don't think most people truly respect like the like soul of paganism, right? And I think a lot of people do it in like the like goth, this is witchy, because there was a lot of like witchy stuff in there. But I was like, these two things are not aligned, right? Like, because in paganism, you wouldn't have stuffed the animal and kept it around. Like, if you had like, if there had been like pelts in there and there had been really nice, like carcasses that like parts of animals that have been used in like a meaningful way, like it is not in pagan and like Wiccan cultures. And some, like, there are some, right? Like, I think that there's, in different countries there's different beliefs. Like mine really roots back to like Celtic areas, because let's be real, like I'm Celtic and I feel like that's the one that I should be practicing. Whether I think other ones are cool like voodoo and Santeria, interesting, but not my background. I shouldn't be practicing it unless a real practitioner wants to teach me. But I think that store was really into the shock value, and it was like cool. I liked a lot of stuff in there. I bought tarot cards. Like I
Oh
was not even
yeah.
like totally against it, but I think that there was a level of that of like, we're in Nashville, we are so against the grain and like, right, like we're this dark like witchy place, and I just felt like it was buying into that than like true paganism. But I don't know if it was like really trying to buy into true paganism, right? Like they were doing their own thing and that's it. But I was like, there's some fucking weird energy in here.
And you know what? You read tarot for someone that trip. That was really blown
Oh yeah.
away because she's a scientist and
Pete,
was.
Pete.
Oh wait, I thought you did someone else too. Remember? I
I
think.
remember
Well,
doing our friend from Chicago's reading in the hotel room that first night. I don't if I did it for someone else, I don't remember.
you did, and I'll give you some more context clues off air.
Okay. So yeah. So I do a lot of tarot readings. I feel like I'm finally getting good at it, which is
Oh
really
wait,
cool.
forgot I can message you.
But
I think it was this person.
um,
Or wait, that was a different. That was once again that was in Boston.
I still haven't gotten a text message from you, so I don't.
In
Did you
in
send it?
this in this in our
Oh,
Zencasted.
oh, yes, I think I did do that, and I think that was in Boston. You are
But
correct.
I'm just remembering a different tarot
Yes,
reading of yours. But I forgot about this new deck that you got in Nashville. Have you used it at all?
I have not. I actually, once I bought it, I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, because like when I bought it, I thought it was very pinup, because that was kind of like what the cover
Oh,
photo
right.
was. And then it's ended up being like more like kind of like I want to say like more like pop art-y, like, which was like whatever, like, but like here's the thing with tarot cards is that like they're meant to also be given to like tarot cards are meant to be given to people.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like they're like, there's a big tradition of like the cards are supposed to come to you, how they're supposed to come to you. And so I often buy decks and like with like, cause I like them or I have them or whatever. And I give them to a lot of people when somebody connects with them. So like if I don't like love them, that's cool. Like somebody will end up with them one day and like there'll be something special in that person's life. But I'm really just kind of always been true to my original deck. I've been doing the one, what was your friend who did tarot with us? Colleen? Is that her name?
Colleen, yeah.
Yeah, I bought the deck that she recommended. I have been using that one a little bit. But it's just like hard because you can memorize a lot about your own deck and like meanings within it, like colors that are used on each card and stuff. Like even though meanings will like transfer from card to card, each card looks different, right? So if an artist uses green and their card more than yellow, that can have a different meaning in your reading and just how you interpret things. So yeah, so I always go back to mine. But yeah, that was Hail Dark Aesthetics. That was a wild ride. You all should go and check it out. Like honestly, if you're in Nashville, like, and you are not freaked out by taxidermy, do it. Like go check it. Or even if you are, you don't have to go in the room and be like me. Just check out the other little goods that they have, goods and wares.
Great trinket shop of mysticisms.
And then we were gonna try and go to a fancy bathroom. Oh, I already forgot the name.
Yeah, I'm like, was there another place we also went to? Because I kind of,
yes.
I remembered. And
yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yes.
Oh, the Hermitage Hotel's men's bathroom. And the funny thing about this was like you and I like went there. We like weirdly snuck around rather than like talking to anyone. Like you and I just were like creeping around the
we
building.
Belong here. We look fancy because there was people. It was a very fancy place.
Very fancy, and we could not find the bathroom. We went everywhere, and then finally we figured out that the bathroom was indeed closed, and that they were doing a renovation, so we didn't even see the bathroom, which was disappointing, but maybe people should go see it when it's renovated and let us know what it's like. But this left us open for actually the first stop in our adventure. I would argue probably my favorite stop that we did in the whole, we're experts now adventuring, which was, the Nashville foam fighting Demarion.
Not LARPing, Jacking. It is not LARPing. The abilities you have are the ones you come with, girly.
And it is it's in a park in what I think is like South Nashville. And you and I take an Uber there.
And the Uber drops us off and is like, is this it? And we're like, yes.
No, the Uber starts pulling up and I cannot stop laughing. And then the Uber's like, is this it? And we're like, absolutely. And we get out of that van because it's also a minivan. Like we're getting dropped off in this park that's, I think, at a high school. And like in a minivan, and we're in our 30s, and like we very clearly are dressed like people in their 30s as well. And I am bending over laughing because we see the people and what we think when we hear the largest gathering of foam fighters in the US. Like I was thinking like not an insane amount. Like I wasn't expecting hundreds, but I was expecting like 25, 30, maybe 40 people out there. Like, and when we got there were 6 people.
Yep. Just some folding chairs and some dreams.
And a table. There was a table. And
there was a table.
They're not really doing anything. And like they're on one side of the park. There's some people playing like I think volleyball or something on the other side of the park. And we decide, like, what are we going to do? Like, we came here, like, we got to do something. Like,
we can't just stand around, like, watching either one or the other. So we're like, okay, well, couple dozen yards away, there's a bench kind of in the middle of both of these things. So just go sit like a couple of weird 30-year-old gals do on a winter's day in Nashville.
After a big storm. And I can't stop laughing like this entire time. Like I can like not contain myself because this is the funniest thing that I can imagine of all the outcomes I could have imagined for that day. It was never six dudes, one chick just fucking chilling in the park. And I will say more people did eventually show up. I think at one point we were like up to like 9 maybe. Like there was like another chick
big
there at one
numbers,
point.
almost double digits.
There's like a small child like just like raging on people, and for like the longest time they're like kind of just standing around, and you and I were like, is there going to be any action? And then a couple guys did square up and start.
Yeah, I think they were waiting for critical mass, and then one guy sort of, and this is all with like, I wish we had subtitles. We were too far away to hear anything. There seemed to be a sort of like circle arena and a guy giving instructions on maybe how to get points or when a battle was over. And then, yeah, people just went at it one-on-one combat. And maybe tournament style, like winner progressed next. I don't really fully know what was happening.
Well, the two guys were just, I think they were practicing because they were just wailing on each other in that like cone circle.
Yeah, I think he was demonstrating on a volunteer.
No, there was the demonstration and then there was just like a lot of other people doing other things and just these two guys practicing. And that's what I have the most pictures of, that you guys will see the most pictures of. And then like, I think eventually like a couple more people joined and it was like a smaller thing. And at this point, like you and I had been sitting out there in the cold for like 30 minutes giggling in a high school, like in our 30s. And at like a certain point, like you and I just couldn't find a reason to continue sitting there. And like,
yeah. No reason for us to be there, really. And then it was just like, well, clearly our bodies are directed in a certain angle. Like we are clearly like watching them.
I am looking directly at them the entire time. Well, here's the thing. Had there been a larger group, I would have put money on it. You and I would have fucking tried it. Like you and I are like pretty charismatic people. We could like walk up to a group. Okay, well, I am. Like I would walk up, strangely be like, can we fucking try foam fighting? And we probably would have been the next best foam fighters that like anyone had ever heard of. But the fact that there was like 6 people and it was very clearly like a close-knit group of people, like okay. There was this girl, there's these 2 girls when I was in middle school that were really unpopular. And like, I felt really bad for them. And like, I've always tried to just like, I've always been me. I've always tried to like talk to the people who didn't fit in. And like, if there's somebody like lonely in a corner, I'm going to find them and be their friend. Right. So one time I was like trying to be friendly and I was by no means popular. Like I was like very barely above them the year before. And like this was now 8th grade and I had like a couple more friends, but I'm like, I'm not high on the social totem pole. And one time I went over and I tried to be nice. And you know how I can never remember song names? Like I'm really just bad at names in general or like names of anything. So I'm trying to be nice. And I was like, oh, what are you guys listening to? And they were like, oh, we're listening to Linkin Park. And they thought that I was trying to make fun of them and like being a dick, right? And so they're like, well, name, like, I don't believe you. Like, are you just being mean? And I was like, no, I really do like Linkin Park. And they were like, well, name one song. And I was like, I fucking can't. That's just who I am. And so I've always been like really self-conscious about like, I don't always appear like the person who wants to play Dungeons and Dragons or foam fighting, right? Like I'm sitting here with my fake eyelashes and my incredibly deep V, right? And like my girly earrings. Thank you very much, Bex. I don't always seem like the person that would want to try it, but I'm like absolutely the person. I'm always afraid that people are like not going to take me seriously and that like I'm going to look like an asshole when I'm really trying to seem like genuine, but like also my voice is really sing-songy and people think I'm sarcastic no matter what I say. So that was a long story to tell you about my insecurities.
You would have foam fought. You would have foam fought. And that's a fact. Well, what else did we get? I mean, what else is there to say about
a lot of good
foam
food.
fighting? We had a lot of great food.
Yeah. Foam fighting was
And
great. When we did leave, after we had been waiting there for too long in the cold, because we went too early, I think was the problem. We got there like at like 15 minutes after they started, and apparently the foam fighters are not a timely group. And so like they didn't really like, because when we were in the car leaving, it was like 45 minutes, an hour after it had started. And that's when we saw like 4-on-4 about to go at it. So like there was, I think, more action that we missed. And maybe it's like a 6-hour thing. And like, so like people really show up at like 2. I don't know. I think there could have been more action in the foam fighting, but I would recommend to a friend, if you were looking for something to do in the Nashville area, go to okay, it's Durdemarion.
wait, DUR
Hold on, I'm just gonna put it in the chat.
Durdemarion.
Demarion. Yeah, go see that. It's a good time. But yeah, otherwise, good food in Nashville. There's lots of nice people. Stayed at the Renaissance. That was nice. No fire alarms, so we loved that. And yeah, check it out, peeps.
I want to check out Kid Rock's Club and the Hard Rock Cafe.
Okay, well,
apparently there's sports there. The Predator. Go Predators.
Oh, because what did they call it?
Home of the Predators. Smashville. Home of the Predators. Okay, can you have a better date rape name? Like, that's the motto.
And it was like, you just saw Go Predators everywhere, and I was like, only in the South. That's how you know it's the South and not the Midwest, okay? Because that would never fly in the Midwest, I don't think.
But Nashville Board of Tourism, we'll be back. We love you.
Flies in the Midwest. And yes, we'll come back to you'll go back to Nashville. I think I've had my fill.
I think I'm good on Nashville. I wanted to know what it was about, even just a little bit, kind of know what the cliche thing is. I would go back to Dollyville, which is like, I think, Western Tennessee.
Yeah, I would go to other parts. I also would recommend it if you're 10 years younger than us, like, right? Like if you're 25.
Or if you want to get into music. I think that's why people are there.
Like if I was younger, I would have had so much fun there. I am old and tired now, and so it's not my spot. Fiji is though, so. Okay. Well, anything else to say on Nashville, Rebecca Contra?
Tennesaw.
Okay, we saw it.
That was great. And that was the show. Thank you everyone for watching, and we hope you stay curious.
If you enjoyed this video, watch our other videos here on YouTube, or you should listen to the episode on We're Experts Now podcast. Bex, where can they find us?
You can find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart Music.
And what if they want to talk to us?
If you have ideas for something you want us to investigate, send us an email at we'reexpertspod@gmail.com. That's wereexpertspod@gmail.com.
Great job on that spelling. Ooh. A+. Do you do this professionally?
I believe we're both doing it professionally right now.
Wow. People should know about this.
I completely agree. And you can find us on Instagram at We're Experts Now Pod.
Thanks again. And if you enjoy the show, subscribe and comment, and do not forget to leave a 5-star tip.
That's a great idea. Are you a podcast expert?
I think we both are. I think
we're experts now.
This has been a Just Being Better Media production.